All right, guys, I'm going to do question number 2 from the August 2022 Regents exam. And I want to say a couple quick things. This question is actually a little bit more difficult than they normally have at the beginning of the test. They normally start with pretty simple questions and then they get more difficult. But this one is a little bit more challenging because you really have to understand what the common ratio is. And remember, when we were trying to determine if something was linear or exponential, we would subtract to see if it had the same common difference, and that meant that it would be linear. And then if it wasn't linear, I told you guys to divide. And if it was the same number that was being divided every time or multiplied every time, then it was exponential, right? So they're telling you that the common ratio, that this has a common ratio. So that means that this is going to be an exponential. But we need to find the common ratio. Now, the way that you would do this is basically you're just going to divide. You're going to divide 2x squared by the previous term, which is x. So this would be 2 times x, because that's what the square means, over x. And then you can just cancel these x's, so you're left with 2x. So that would be this, but we got to check a couple others. So let's do 4x third divided by 2x squared. So if we expand this out, this is going to be 2 times 2, which is 4. And then it's going to be x times x over 2 times x times x. And then again, we can cancel. Because this is all multiplication, so we can cancel this x, we can cancel this x, we can cancel this 2. So again, we're left with 2x over just 2x. So it's 2x again. Okay, now let's do another one. We can do 8x to the 4th over 2 or 4x to the 3rd. Now we can write this as 8 is the same thing as 2 to the 3rd. This is x to the 4th over 2 to the 2nd over x to the 3rd. Now, if you know the exponents, what exponents do, this is basically saying this is going to be 2 times 2 times 2 times x times x times x times x over 2 times 2 times x times x times x. There's 3 x's. And then once you expand it out, these x's cancel, these x's cancel, these x's cancel, these 2's cancel, these 2's cancel. So what we're left with is this 2 and this x. So again, the answer is 2x. So the answer for this question is basically 2x. That's the common ratio. Now, a lot of y'all might struggle with the exponent parts of this. So here's another way that we can do it. Okay, so instead, I'm going to go to the calculator. And remember what I said, whenever you have answer choices that have a bunch of variables, you can almost always plug a number in for x. So let's see here. I'm going to get rid of this. And okay, so then I'm going to store the number 3 into x. So watch. So let me grab the calculator if I can get to it. Where are you? Right here. I'm going to store 3. And I'm going to put that into x. So my first term is just 3. My second term is going to be 2x squared, which is 18. My next one is going to be 4x to the 3rd power, which is going to be 108. My next one is going to be 8x to the 4th power, which is 648. And then my last one is going to be 16. So let me write these down because I want to get these. So n and then f of n. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we have 3, 18, 108, 648. And then the last one is 16x to the 5th power, and that is 3,888. All right, so I'm going to go back to the iPad now. So what I've done is I just plugged in x for 3. I came up with these values. And now I'm looking for the common ratio. So I'm going to divide these. 18 divided by 3 is 6. 108 divided by 18 is 6. 648 divided by 108 is 6. 3,888 divided by 648 is also 6. So I'm multiplying all of these by 6. So the common ratio is 6. Now, all I would do is go to my answer choices, and I'm going to take x equals 3 and plug it in. So 2 times 3 is 6. This one would be 2, so it's not this one. X, if x is 3, this would be 3, and we're looking for 6. And then 1/2 of 3 would be 1.5, which is also not 6. So this would be our answer. Again, you could do it that way. Now, but the key is you got to know that common ratio is dividing. So you're dividing the current term by the previous term, the current term by the previous term, and then you're just finding out what the constant or what's the common ratio. Every time you divide, you should get the same number or the same expression. In this case, it was 2x. All right. That's it, guys. Let me stop this.